So today I'm going to tell you guys about human rights with my friends Devin, Levin, and Isabella.
To you, what are human rights?
Human rights are the fundamental rights that every human has.
What are human rights?
Human rights are those fundamental rights that humans are born with or they're inherently entitled with since they're human beings.
I don't know how to put this. Things that humans should have just by way of nature.
Can you name some human rights?
It includes pursuit of happiness,
Food, water,
Equality, feminism,
shelter,
freedom of expression,
clean air.
freedom to exercise your religion,
oh, there's a lot.
Happiness.
and
Yeah.
And why are human rights important?
They're important because people are the face of this planet. People should be treated with respect and have rights no matter what. We wouldn't be able to function without human rights and basic respect towards people and each other. I just feel like that we wouldn't function as people.
Okay.
and they're important because we human matter, and without them, and our freedom would be diminished.
Because it's what makes us human. It's what makes us. It's what distinguishes us from any other animal or creature. Like, it's something that belongs to us. Yeah.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a milestone document in the history of human rights. Drafted by representatives with different legal and cultural backgrounds from all regions of the world, the Declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on December 10, 1948, as a common standard of achievements for all peoples and all nations. It sets out, for the first time, fundamental human rights to be universally protected, and it has been translated into over 500 different languages.
After reading the Universal Declaration, which human right do you think is the most important?
I think in Article number 3, it highlights the most important of all rights. It's everyone has a right to life, liberty, and security of person. Because everyone has a right to live, and if you dead, you can't really do anything else.
I'd have to go with Article 2. It says everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. I think that that's the most important, because if we don't have respect for each other, what else do we have? That's something that, that's the most important to me personally, because it's just, there's so much anger and so much hate in the way that we run our country. So I feel like if that's a basis of a country, what else do you need?
Is most important.
I think Article 2 is the most important, that everyone is entitled to all rights and freedoms, no matter their differences, because we are human beings and we got to be our unique individuals.
How do you think that human rights can be violated?
Anything that steps in the way of the right to life, not just killing someone, I guess, but like anything that prevents someone from living the life the way they want it or living their life to their fullest, I guess, is a violation of human rights.
That, like, if you didn't show respect to a person, if you didn't respect their political beliefs or their sex or their language, or if you didn't prove someone innocent before guilty, I think that that would be a violation. Things in these.
Violated.
Take criminal justice for example. Like, if the police and legal system are treating people differently or unjustly just because they're minorities, that violated the right of equal trial.
Now I'm going to tell you about some human rights violations in the world.
All right.
Since taking office in last June of 2016, Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte has carried out a war on drugs that has led to the deaths of over 12,000 Filipinos. Around 2,500 of the killings have been attributed to the Philippine National Police, while the other 10,000 are still under police investigation or no investigation at all.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think that violates the right to life, and whether or not they're guilty or not, no one has the right to take away someone else's right to life. And just by killing someone on sight, especially without any trial or anything, it's disgusting, and I am revolted by that.
The Rohingya population of 1.1 million people have lived in Burma for centuries. But now the Burmese government has started an ethnic cleansing on the Rohingya, and over 1 million have fled the country to escape persecution. How do you feel about this?
I feel it's a violation of human rights because there's war and terror going on in a country, and people feel the need that they can't belong in the own country that they live in, and that they're not welcome there, and the fact that they have to leave because their own government can't control what's going on in their country. The fact that they don't feel welcome in their own home and might not in any other places is a violation of human rights.
So 3 former political prisoners in North Korea described the system as having systematic torture, starvation, forced abortion, and there was a lot of the disappearance of the family members of the prisoners. And the estimated survival rate for North Korean prisoners is actually estimated to be less than 10%. How do you feel about this?
It is horrible, and I think no one shall be subjected to torture and degrading, inhuman punishment, and they're deprived of dignity and freedom. So, it shall not happen.
Do you think that human rights have to be violated on such a grand scale for other people or other nations to notice?
Oh, definitely. All the time. You see that kind of stuff in the news about people violating things, and you don't notice until something happens, right? If there was a school shooting, you wouldn't notice about it. You probably wouldn't notice unless it were in the news, and people would raise the concern. But it'd have to be a big deal or big thing to get people to notice, as sad as that is.
Do you think that human rights have to be violated on such a grand scale for people to actually notice them?
No. I think human rights can be violated in just little ways too in everyday life, and just the little things can affect people too.
So that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
And do you think human rights have to be violated on such a massive scale for us to notice?
No, I mean, if your rights are violated, you should say it, tell others that you trust. Well, tell just people that you trust that you're violated of your right. It doesn't have to be a mass scales. And once it is violated, you should just speak it out.
And do you think human rights are violated in everyday life?
I think internet right now is cause if you go online and your record would be kept online, and I think that's a violation of privacy. So yeah, that's one of them.
And do you think human rights are violated in everyday life?
Yes, all the time, constantly. Whether it's just a little joke you think, that you're making about someone's nationality, where you might think it's funny, it could offend someone else. Little things like that. They're constantly violated and no one really notices.
Human rights are violated every day. The human rights that people fight and even die for are the same rights we violate and disregard without giving a second thought. The support we show for struggles of equality and justice across the world should be upheld with the same support in our own homes and communities. For as Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such places are where every man, woman, and child seeks justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere.